now in a long-term relationship and plan on getting married after college. Anyway, I eventually found out that she has the ability to see ghosts on some occasions. She describes these ghosts in many different ways. Sometimes she sees orbs, sometimes full apparitions. Skip this for the juicy stuff. Growing up, I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and one thing we were taught is that any paranormal phenomenon is the result of demonic activity, or thereby the result of demonic entities. Even though I am no longer part of the odd religion, deep down, there is a fear of the paranormal which has sparked an unquenched curiosity inside me regarding the supernatural. After I disposed my mind of the religious views of Jehovah's Witnesses, I turned into a staunch atheist, thinking only the physical reality before us is what exists and nothing more is proven beyond speculation. I presumed that all paranormal phenomenon was some sort of mass psychosis that possessed millions, or even billions of people, an over-attachment to the imagination and its creations. This was easy to believe because up until that point I had never had a first-hand encounter with the unexplainable, the eerie, the unseen. My first ever experience happened upon me some years ago when I was 13 or 14. I remember distinctly waking up early in the morning and going to enjoy watching some sitcom while I devoured my daily mac and cheese. After watching for some 30 or 40 minutes, I heard a strange rustling in the corner of the room where a door was to another room. The door itself wobbled slightly, perhaps the result of the AC and nothing more. Not quite. Then the door bleeps slowly turned before my eyes and I watched as the door crept open over the course of 10 seconds. I was frozen in my chair and couldn't move for about 10 minutes. For years I attributed this incident to my mind, a hallucination perhaps, or even an extended dreams where my mind recreated my whole morning routine. Not to dismiss any of this, but it felt real. I have never had hallucinations in my life, so it seems to me. Now, that was unlikely. I met my love for a long time. I thought I would never find a romantic partner. After asking out 5 girls in my first 2 semesters of college, I was about to give up. But I decided to try one more time, and I asked out a girl from my drawing class. She seemed like such a wonderful person, shy, but also funny and easy to talk to. Long story short, we are now in a long-term relationship and plan on getting married after college. Anyway, I eventually found out that she has the ability to see ghosts on some occasions. She describes these ghosts in many different ways. Sometimes she sees orbs, sometimes full apparitions, the occasional demon, and even a humanoid creature crawling towards her on all fours. If I were to witness these things, I would be institutionalized and unable to bear seeing such things. Juicy stuff. About a month ago, I was staying at her dad's, where she was also staying for the summer. We always stayed up late either watching something, playing games, or just talking. On the 5th night, she mentioned that she had a vintage Ouija board, sparking my curiosity. I asked her if she wanted to bring it out, and she said she would. However, she would not touch it. She believes that if she mingles too far into attempts of communication with the otherworldly, that she could become consumed by dark entities. Fortunately, or unfortunately, she did say that I could play it even though she would not. I started by placing both of my hands on the planchette and asking a simple question: are there any spirits in our presence? I felt a slight tingle in my arm and felt it being gently pulled toward the yes inscribed on the board. I started to slightly panic, and after it had guided me to the yes, I said goodbye and refused touching it again. The next night, me and her were both sitting on the couch lightly making out, and in the hallway adjacent to the living room we heard a man's voice calmly but sternly utter the word no. She then removed her lips from mine, and I saw as her pupils dilated as she became aware of the otherworldly presence. She sat up and asked if I had heard what she did, and I of course told her that I had. I followed and also sat up and tried to calm her by caressing her cheek and told her I would keep her safe, even from that which I did not know and feared terribly. Then, only about a minute or so after hearing the voice, something slammed itself or part of itself against the couch on which we were sitting. She jumped to the other side before I had fully processed what had occurred. She later told me that she never had experienced a voice, perhaps an indication that I had brought something else into our presence, something neither of us had known before.